Hello everyone, this is Inceptor 57 back here in War Thunder, and just today, update 1.67 Assault has been released, and I thought well let's just go over a bit. I'm really just going to be reading off the change log. So if you really want to save yourself, who knows how many minutes this video is going to be, I'm going to do it all in one take. Just go ahead and click on the change log description, the change log link in my description. But if you want to hear my voice, I highly doubt that. But hey, let's get over it. So there is six, eight. There's 13 new vehicles and 6 new aircraft and a whole bunch of model updates and a lot of different changes. You also got 2 new maps, some updates, and two maps also had got 2 other maps also got updates, new mechanics, a whole bunch of stuff. It's a pretty interesting update, really. And let's go over one by one so we don't overwhelm ourselves with talking. So let's go over the ground vehicles first. If you've seen some of my first impression videos, you know, like the T-34, the T-14, the IS-6 are out. So nope, aviation. We'll do that later. So let's just take a look at a few of them. That's why I bought the T-14. That was an interesting tank in my first impressions. And okay, so here's a T-14. Pretty. I thought it was very interesting during my first impression, so I went ahead and bought it first place. That's the T-14, and people who probably came from World of Tanks probably recognize it first as one of the heavy tanks before you get like the other U.S. heavy tanks in that game. But hey, now it's a War Thunder, so what the heck. So one other new vehicle is the M8 Scott. It's a funny story is I actually thought the other M8A1, the gun motor carriage that's a tank destroyer, I actually thought that was a Scott because from my preliminary research, but now we actually got the M8 Scott, so we got that. There's supposed to be a howitzer for kind of like the M7 Priest, but on a Stuart chassis, and the famous T-34. Well, infamous really, because people are freaking out about it. And one nice change about it that my first impression videos, they actually added APCR ammunition. So maybe I'll take a test drive of it later and see if we can penetrate Tiger II front glacis now, because that's a whopping 300 millimeter in near point blank range. Well, even 100 meters is still with 300 millimeter penetration. All right, well, we're gonna just buzz through this, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. What else? Germany? Did Germany get anything? Germany. Oh yeah, they got the Sturm Panzer II, which is basically a Panzer II with a 150 millimeter gun on it. So it's pretty much a poor man's broom bar, if we want to go that way. Then again, armor is like hell thin, but then again, it's also rank 1. So I mean, it's good enough. But hey, if you're gonna get the first shot off, you're probably gonna annihilate them. I mean, the HE round can penetrate 60 millimeters with shrapnel, and the heat round give you 185. So this is quite a viable little tank destroyer, just thin on armor and exposed crew. So strafing fire might just eliminate you. And then we have the RU-251 light tank that was supposed to be, but then the Leopard pretty much said we don't need that. It does look like a mini Leopard. I don't know I don't really know what the community really thinks about it. Some people say that it shouldn't belong in battle rating 6.7, but I don't know much about this thing, and I don't play realistic battles, so light tanks and arcade are pretty easy to knock out. But then again, I haven't fought one yet. I just got on and said, hey, 1.67 is out after the news about the server update. So 2 new vehicles for Germany, 3 new vehicles for American. I forgot to say that. Okay, so this is the Soviets got 3, I think. So we got a Su-51, really peculiar looking tank. It's a T-26 chassis, and with a 76.2 millimeter gun on it. So it's as you can tell, is a lightly armored. Like, it's definitely a martyr type stuff. The penetration is pretty good, especially since it's a rank 1. So yeah, it's definitely fits the area of a tank destroyer. We also got a 29K. I think you guys saw my first impressions of it. Very interesting. It's definitely not the flak truck, but oh, they changed the ammo location. Okay, so we got the one in the front now, and then we got 2 in the back. Did they? I remember there was I remember they had a loader in the back here too, but I guess they moved him. But then now they're all clustered together here, so one good HE shell in the front might take out 4 of your crew members at once. But then again, if you got it in the front, they're pretty much dead anyway. You'll probably be machine gunning them in the first place since the armor is 1mm. And yeah, okay. And then of course we got the infamous, also infamous because right, I bought that. Now let's just pick one. I don't care. So I'm gonna show it off. It's the IS-6. So my first impressions. Let's see. Yep, it still got the first 2 rounds that the IS-2 have. I'm not so sure because this is a 7.0, so I thought maybe it had the BR471D. Did I say that right? Oops, wrong one. BR471D. I thought they had that new round, but apparently they didn't give it to it. Well, I don't know. I thought the armor is pretty decent. I mean, it's 100mm all around and sloped at such an angle that it gives us about 300mm if you aim straight from the front. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the most battle experienced person to be talking about like all these armor stuff. I'm just saying that it's 100mm sloped at this way is pretty thick. Let's see what else. No, that's enough of so yeah, so we've got 3. Britain got 2. We got the famous Centurion Mark 1, pretty much the first iteration of the Centurion series. It's got the same armor. It got the 152mm gun turret front. The gun mat is actually weaker. In general, I think it has a weaker engine. All right, they use a Meteor engine. And then one thing about in the dev server is that they didn't have the APDS shell, but now they do. I guess I don't know whether the Gaijin thought it might be overpowered with it, or they just forgot that the APDS shell exists for the 17-pounder. But hey, it's in here now, so people who are worried in the dev server, it's in there now. The Challenger also got back to rank 3, but it didn't change battle rating, so it's not a very big deal. And of course we have the FV4005 Stage 2. That's the real official name. You guys see my first impressions. It's pretty much unchanged, I think. Let's see. Oh, the penetration get down to 254mm, but that's still a lot. That can still kill a Tiger II. I don't know about the heavier tanks up to rank battle rating 8, but you have a 183mm gun. This is the new derp gun of this game. Yeah, and we thought the KB2 and ISU 152s were bad. Okay, so and Japan they got 3, and they have 1 new premium right here. This is our first heavy tank that's not a Tiger. The Type 95 Rogo. Yeah, the armor's not that great. I mean, but you do have 2 turrets. I don't know, 35mm of use. This is rank 1, so you know probably the best case is that you got lots of crew members inside. Oh, especially just 1 in the back. So even if they kill the 5 in the front, you get an extra person to help with the crew the crew replenishment. What are they thinking with the turret in the back? And I thought the T-35 was pretty bad. And it's like this guy would be hella bored in the front of engagement. Okay. So they got 2 new rank 5s. They got the famous Type 87. Okay, it's not. I don't know about famous. I'm just saying this. We all got hyped up for it, but this thing is officially the newest vehicle in War Thunder, introduced in 1997. So that's our new technological date, 1987. Although I wouldn't expect to see any T-72s or T-80s still yet. So just take this and say, hey, that's the newest kid on the block. Of course, armor stand is a SPA, and if you use this to fight tanks, something's probably wrong with your strategy. Not that in my mind. I mean, I can. If I get a jump on SPA, I'll kill it. But if you get a ZSU 57 too and hit my Leopard, I don't have a Leopard, but then props to you. And then we got the Type 60 anti-tank missile. Basically a Type 60 APC with anti-tank missiles. 2 of them. Well, 2, and then they got 4 more in reserves. That means you got 6 missiles. It's not the biggest capacity, especially compared to the IT-1 and the Rakuten Jagdpanzer 2 HOTS. But at least Japan now has an anti-tank missile platform. Yay for people who like anti-tank missile, and yay for people who don't like them. And whichever one you are, take your pick. So that's it. No, that's about it for the ground forces. Oh gosh, we're 9 minutes already. So let's see. Okay, let's just B to the Air Force because I'm not the Air Force person. So we got B10 B oh yeah B10B premium, and then we got the A26B50 Invader. And then okay, let's just jump on. Germany didn't get any, but all the Junkers have been updated. The model has been updated. Uh, Russia, the IL-4 has been updated, and they now have the DB3B. It's a bomber, as far as I know of. Britain, they have the Spitfire Mark II-B has been updated, and but they now have the Lincoln B Mark II, which is apparently a Lancaster before it distinguishes itself as its own thing. And Japan got they got two new bombers, the Ki-67s, Ko and Otsu. All right, that's about it for all the vehicles. Let's see. So we got two new maps: Ardennes and Guyana Highlands. Okay, I hope I said that right. But Ardennes is Ardennes is apparently mixed. I don't know about mixed. I don't know if that means is for ground, arcade, realistic, and simulator, or they may mean that an airplane can also fight there on the air. And we have Guyana Highlands, which is only arcade aircraft. And then we got, like I said, we got two existing maps got updated. Eastern Europe has the river now has places for amphibious tanks to escape, and so did Berlin. Mechanics, and they have rooms and lobby as the assault co-op missions, although aircraft only. I'll show you right here. Only aircraft. Ground forces is still, I guess they're still working on it. Missions, interface, and lots of flight model changes. Like I said, look at the changelog for all these finer details, because we're gonna be here forever if I read each and every single one of these things. Economy and research. Winter camo is now available for the newer tanks from the last few updates. And like I said, the A30 Challenger in the British line has been moved from rank 4 to rank 3. And okay, so the sounds, new Japanese crew voices. KB220 has the supercharger sounds. Cannons, machine guns got new sounds, those kind of stuff. Fixes to the .com, some websites, .ru, .coms. Flame effects on exhaust outlets, so that's gonna be a big plus for realism somewhere around there if you guys wanna still go for that. Fixes in names and machine guns. And the Sheridan got a big speed boost. Before it was like 50 kilometers per hour, and realistic now is 69, and in arcade it'll be 77. Let's see, chicken. A whole bunch of new, like that airplane's got a bunch of new flight model, damage model. Ground forces. I think the ground forces, especially the newest thing, is the gun stabilization system. Stabilization system is for the following vehicles. Germany they have Leopard A1, not the one. It's only the A1, the Flak Pass and Jeopard. USSR has a PT-76, Object 906, T-10, T-62, and the Shilka. USS got the Sheridan, M60A1, the Stewards passed the M2A4, M24 Chaffee, whichever one you want. All the Shermans. Britain got the Centurions, past Mark III in the past, Chieftain, Mark III, Conqueror, and Falcon, the SPAA. Japan got the STB-1, Type 74, and those American tanks they got that qualify for the stabilization system. The Walker Bulldog didn't have one? Oh, well, that's curious. And then they also the Panzer the tanks using small guns like the 37mm and the Panzer 35, 38Ts, the 2-pounder in the British tanks, and the 37, 57mm on the Japanese tanks are 57mm are also got a vertical stabilization because they use a shoulder to move the gun. If you go online, look at the 2-pounder on the Matilda, see how they aim it. They actually use a shoulder to move the vertical plane. But you want to? Why don't we go check out the stabilization system, because that seems to be the hardest thing. So M60 does not have it, but the M60A1 does. So I guess this would be a good comparison. Let's take the M60 out, and let's do realistic, because if we do arcade, everything just moves a bit faster. Current, actually, is stabilization an upgrade? No, but I got some upgrades on the M60, so let's just get rid of those, so we don't need to worry about, hey, horizontal drive adjustment, the fire is actually changing it. Oh, realistic. Sorry about that. Weather good, time of day. Alright, let's try it out. We'll just be driving around and see how much the gun moves. Maybe use a machine gun. Who knows? Okay. So this is how the gun moves in realistic mode. Well, I mean, just as is when it's moving around. Look at the crosshair just bumping along. You can see like the machine gun tracers are just going up and down, up and down. Generally, you know, it's quite bumpy, as you can tell. And this is relatively flat ground. It's still cross country, but jeez, I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, so let's go back. Let's try the M60A1. There's some new nice wallpapers. Those must be the KI67s they were talking about. Alright, let's try the T60 M60A1 T60. What the heck? Let's take reference. Okay, let's try that. So you saw the M60, the crosshair was just bumping around up and down as I move on that relatively flat ground. Let's try this one. Alright, let's go this way. Look at that. That's really smooth. I mean, I'm just seeing this the first time. I was like, wow, this is really smooth. Of course, the gun stabilizer worked best like under the speed limit, but like I heard it was 25 km, but that might be the Sherman's. But this is very smooth. Look at that. This is smooth. This is definitely going to be a game changer for realistic battle. I don't know how much it's going to affect arcade, but it's definitely going to be a big boost to people with in realistic who has tanks with stabilization system. Look, I mean, I think that yeah, it's very, very, very smooth. This is definitely a very good addition to the game for people with using tanks that has stabilization system. People who using tanks that don't. Well, this is the same as always. Well, yeah, that's the gist of it for update 1.67 Assault. If you want to see all of the changes Gaijin did to the game, change logs down in my description below. Just click on it and then go ahead and read all the changes they did to the aircraft. They did a whole bunch of stuff. I heard that the Soviet Air Force Streamline now got a new armament they can use, rockets or something, because that's the whole changes I've been seeing on the wiki. So yeah, that's about it. Maybe you can expect some gameplay video with the new 1.67 vehicles, though I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of people are already on it. They've been on it since the dev server. And yeah, that's about it really. If you like what I'm doing, feel free to give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see more. And I don't really have much else to say other than thanks for watching and have a great day.